Alright, this is another video on Let's Play Solo. In this video, I'm going to talk about setting up Fantasy Grounds to play solo. One of the things I'm doing is I found running two instances is easier because I put all the player character sheets on one screen and the bigger DM combat tracker on the other. And I found that actually helps me a little bit. Obviously your mileage will vary. I'm using Groupy, by the way, which gives me tabs because when you're recording, um, doing more than one screens is problematical. When I actually play on my main computer, I usually put the DM screen on the main monitor and the player screen on the other one. So let's get going and I'll show you how I set it up. So this hopefully will give you some ideas. First of all, this is a handy extension here. Right here, it's the time, it's for time, but it's not useful for the player. So I'm just closing it out on the player. Extensions are personal things, and you can see I'm just running stuff for convenience. The only one I wouldn't, this video, I'm going to use 5e 214 characters. So I'm using equipped effects by Silent Ruined because they have 2014, but they don't have 2024. And so I don't use it in my normal games where I'm running 2024. So let's get going. So it's combat tracker on top of the chat to give us a little more space. I have found that pretty much putting all the character sheets over here on top of each other gives me the best space, and then I can just swap them. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do, easiest way to tell if you have different characters is to change the dice, right? Not used to the new dice. There we go. So I'm going to give them all different dice as soon as the dice opens. Come on, dice. There we go. This guy gets old school. This is my cleric. The other guy was the mage. This guy gets something fancy. Dragon Queen, apparently. This is my rogue. Gets he's a rogue. Let's give him this. This is one of my fighters. So on this 5-man running party, I'm running a pair of fighters. I went all conventional stuff because it's fairly easy to fighter. Anything interesting for a fighter? Here, let's give him metal. How about that? And this is a half orc, the extinct race in the 5e 2024. Let's give him fantasy hero. Sure. Something fancy? Sure. All right. So basically, the reason I gave them all different dice is one of the easiest ways to tell that you're changing your character sheets is the dice are changing. So now that we've got this set up, let's head out and talk a little bit about, first, let's take a look at the modules. As a player, I'm going to want the player's handbook. And I'm running, like I say, the old one. Let's open that up. And that's what I'll start with. I'm not going to open up a lot for the player. The other thing is, because I'm actually running this equipped effects, I have a auto. I'm going to run the player's handbook, and I guess I'll just open them all. I don't think I don't remember using it particular. This means you can look up what the automatic effects does, but when you equip and unequip stuff, it gives effects on the combat tracker, which is pretty nifty. All right, now that we got the opening configuration and on the DM side, I'm running with pretty much the automatic effects for the DM, players, and handbook. Got some random. These are my random monster tables, and I'm going to have the DM's guide. Notice even when I'm running not Legacy, I'll still use the Legacy DM's guide because it has a better set of treasure tables. By better, I mean the new ones, they were pushed for space, so pretty much everything's in gold. So there's no copper or silver or whatever. The older one still has that, though the totals come out to be the same. So finally, what I'm really going to be using as the core of my exploration engine is this IGS Solo Adventure Kit. Now, I bought this. It is by J. Evans Payne. And one of his claims to fame is 5e, OSR, Pathfinder, and Dungeon Crawl Classics. So, like a lot of generic things, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. This is a 600-page PDF. The only part I'm interested in is the quick start part. It's $10 on DM's Guild. I think it's DM's Guild. It might be on Drive-Thru RPG. So the idea with the quick start is it's a bunch of tables, which I'm going to use to build a dungeon with. In other ones, I'll use my own ones, but this is a resource that you might find useful if you're playing something either other than 5e or you want a third party. When I was kind of stranded out of town, I ended up buying this and using it to fuel my dungeon exploration. So basically, you roll on a d20, and that shows you which piece. The idea of these type of tiles is that each one is an encounter area. So basically a hall, or a chamber, some sort of bend hall, and stuff like that. And then sometimes you roll again twice. So I'm going to put this to use and start exploring. So let's just do the first one. Now, I made a custom set of tiles. And one of the problems with this type of thing is you're just supposed to roll and generate one. But if you've done some random dungeon stuff, you know that putting down a base tile with multiple entrances is perhaps I think it's better, just because you won't immediately get a dead end and stop your dungeon exploration. Now, obviously, when you're doing solo, if you get something like that, you can just roll again. But the fact that the possibilities there is not optimum in my mind. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start, and we'll start with a map. New image. We'll just call this Dungeon 01. Okay. Usually I find turning on the grid for this type of thing, but it's pretty bright, so let's just turn down the alpha to like 100-ish. Okay, so one of the things, let's get I haven't opened up the tiles. All right, let's open the tiles. There we go. I'll put these up in the forge eventually. They're not quite ready for public use yet, but all right. So let's see. So I did an index of tiles. I'll pop that out and make a shortcut. of that. Let's close all this stuff. This is going to be my map. There we go. And then let's pull this back up. Let's put it over here. So when I did this stuff, one of the things, I did a star chamber. And so I'm just going to drag and drop this over here. And then we're going to zoom out so we can get a reasonable size. So this will be our initial start. We're coming down the stairs, and then we'll start exploring. But before we actually start exploring, let's switch over to the player side. So the players are getting ready to go in. So this is when you go, oh, yeah, what do I need to do? Well, I have some people who can't see in the dark. So the first thing we need to do is roll through and get some light spells on and stuff like that. So let's, pretty sure the wizard probably has light. And the Dragonborn can't see in the dark either. So we're going to put it on the Dragonborn. And I believe the Cleric also has light. So they both have light. So I'm going to cast light on the... it's been a while since I... Okay, so the rogue can see in the dark. So we're going to put it on the front line. So let's get a light spell on our two fighters. So we got our combat tracker over here. So there we go. Drag and drop. He's going to cast it on Dragonborn. And for convenience, the other guy is going to cast it on the half-orc, even though the half-orc doesn't need it. But I don't want to highlight the rogue or anybody else. All right, so I got my effects. So this is before we go down to the dungeon. If you have any other spells, you might want to cast it. This is first level, so I am going to go a little risky and not cast mage armor on the mage, because he's only got 2 spells. All right, our bold and brave adventurers are ready to go adventuring. So I'm going to swap back over to the DM side and close that and drag and drop these guys. So the first thing is, let's take a look at our party sheet. I got these guys on the party sheet already. And let's take a look at their order. I'm running a pretty standard 2-fighter up front, mage in the middle, cleric, and rogue in the back. In this particular case, we're coming down the stairs, so this orientation is fine. So we're going to drag them right over here. It looks like I have the half-orc on my... Oh, that grid's off. All right, so before we do that, I could have sworn I got the grid on right, but I guess not. Switch over to the grid. Yeah, we are off. Here. Let's ooch it over. All right. Back to our fearless and peerless party here. Back to play mode. Drop them there. Okay, so in theory, they're probably coming down the stairs like this. Something like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any type of encounter in there. Now, before I go any further, one of the problems that I have right here is that all my... I changed the dice, but I didn't change the their pointer colors, which is kind of important, but not super important. I think I'll do that off video. Because all I'm going to do, and then I'm going to end the video, is I want to do my first encounter, and then we'll actually do more of a let's play next video. So on the first video, Lord and Trails was kind enough to allow me to use some of his tables, which gives some interesting effects. So here it is. This is off the generation. So if I this is a story template. And so if I click this, it's going to give me the chamber description, and I'm just going to drag it right down here. So colored mosaics and stuff like that. It's pretty nice, honestly. So I pinned this. And so reinforced stone beams, precious stones, but have been stripped out. So that's pretty cool. Now let's find out. This is the basic fluff or chamber description. Now let's find out if there's anything in here. So we're going to go ahead and call this a chamber. And so if we look up to here, he has chambers. Now, one of the things about this solo adventure toolkit, it's not obvious, but these are all links. The page numbers only are links. So if I want to go to chambers, I hit 31. Now to get back from 31, if you hit quick start reference, you can, so this allows you to jump around fast. All right, so we need to go to chambers. So we find the chambers, we click 31, and here's another table. So we need to roll a 20, and then let's find out what we got. So swapping back over to the DM side, we throw a 20, and we get a 1, which is no encounter. All right, that is my first glorious encounter, and I made it into the dungeon safely. We'll pick this up in the next video. So my glorious guys have gone up there, and then they're going to get to decide which way they want to go. All right. And I'll fix some other stuff. So I'll see you in the next video.